I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
I've got a little game for us.
Okay.
Not that one the judge made us promise we wouldn't do anymore.
No, and the way you said that was almost sinister. I thought we were about to break into a Saw movie or something like that.
You never know. You're right to be afraid.
Okay. But yes, we've got a game. Go on.
We've got a game. Now this is similar to some stuff we've done before, but with a little twist. So I've set us a budget of £5,000. And you have to find a selection of vehicles which would be your only car. So it has to be, because it's us, it has to be fun, interesting, different, whatever. But it also has to be a practical daily. You have to be able to get the family in it. You have to be able to get some stuff in it. But it also has to be something interesting, because that's how we roll.
Yes.
But unlike the lists that we've done in the past, because to be honest, we'll probably just say, well, I'll have a Mondeo of some interesting variant. And that would be it done. But this time, I wanted us to actually find the cars.
Yes. This is what you set to me.
Yes.
So the findings that we both have are, well, at the time of checking a couple of hours ago, still for sale, specifically on Auto Trader.
Yeah, I said specifically on Auto Trader because I thought, well, that levels the playing field then.
Yeah.
We're not, sort of one of us isn't looking somewhere that the other one doesn't know about or anything like that. So you have to, not only do you have to come up with something that fits that bill for that budget, and that budget is quite specifically set at the moment. Used prices are a bit bonkers, as we know. $5,000 does not buy you what it used to. And $5,000 at the moment is quite a tricky amount of money. As well, certainly as I discovered, and I think as you discovered too. So not only do you have to select the car that meets that criteria within that budget, you actually have to find it. And I suggested we research it like you would do if you were actually going to do it. So you do a car check, you look at its MOT history, and you say, right, well, would that be a viable option? So we can't just be kind of abstract like we've been in the past. This time we actually have to find them.
Yes, which has proved tricky.
It has, actually, yes.
I mean, not only from a budget perspective, one thing that's caused me a headache is needing 3 seats in the rear.
Well, a practical daily is a slightly different proposition for you than it is for me. We only have one little offspring, whereas you careless, dirty boy, have 3.
Yes. So
you need a larger vehicle to start with.
As soon as you said it, there was one car that leapt to my mind, and I thought but it's one of those cars that I've never actually driven, never actually been in, so
Right.
never, as it turns out, studied the rear seats in any way, shape, or form. Because I thought immediately, I would love a Mercedes CLS. I could get one of those in budget,
right? Yeah,
with a vaguely interesting engine.
Yeah.
So not only is it practical, it's sleek. It's got I love the design on that. Love it.
Yeah.
But it has 2 seats in the back.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't. It's got the console that runs all the way through the center of the car to make it a nicer place to sit in the back.
So it's only a 4-seater.
Yes. So that was a hard no.
Immediately ruled out on practicality grounds. Yeah.
Immediately.
This is quite an interesting thing to do.
That's it. And another one that fell by the wayside as well on those grounds was a car that I wanted at the time, which is actually quite rare for me because it was a VW offering.
Oh yes, you're not big in that area.
I'm
are
not
you?
big
No.
in VW land,
No.
but it was the Mark III Sirocco. Again, 2 seats in the back.
Yeah, interesting. I like those. I have to say, I like those. Yeah,
I liked it at the time.
Yeah.
I was so keen on it. I was trying to get one as a company car, but as it turned out, the company I was working for at the time made some. Well, no, not them. A sister company made some atrocious financial decisions and ruined the fun for everyone. So I got stuck with hand-me-down cars.
Yes, you have spoken long and turgidly on that subject.
Yeah, so I wanted a Sirocco. I ended up with a selection of Hondas.
The Scirocco is an interesting. I mean, it's got nothing to do with the original Scirocco.
Not at all. But also, I couldn't have one of those. I found a Mark II in budget, still 2 seats in the back.
There you go. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting from a practicality point of view, and it's interesting from a budget point of view. I was surprised by, in some areas, what I could get, and in other areas, surprised what I couldn't get.
Okay, then. Right. Well, let's put people out of their misery.
If I go first, I'm going to start with a popular but surprising choice.
You go for it.
I will. Now, the way I've got a set of links, one to the advert and one to the car check that I've done on it.
Okay.
So
that's fine. I've done all my pre-checks and just written a little bit to gibber about. So I do. I've obviously got the advert link.
Yes, absolutely. Which I will. So if I send you the adverts as we go, then you can look at the same thing. Now, my first choice is a car which we have spoken about often.
Mm-hmm.
It is a car that is very dear to my heart.
Okay.
And I did not think would appear in this list, and admittedly, it only just appears in this list. And it's not exactly the finest example, however.
Okay, go on then.
So there's a link for you to have a shifty at, and it is a 2002 Jaguar S-Type R.
Wow, in budget.
In budget. Now, this kind of illustrates what I've been saying for the last few weeks, that cars like that, supercharged 4.2 litre V8, are crashing in price.
Yeah, they are, and thus far with this one, I mean, it does. Oh no, they have figured out landscape for photographs.
Yeah, the photos are awful. Now, it's not tip top for that price, but nor is it abysmal.
No, it doesn't appear to be hanging out of its arse.
No, I don't think it is. The mileage is getting on a bit, but it's not massive.
That's respectable. Just over 120,000. Which I'm not. That wouldn't put me off in the slightest.
For its age.
Fill me in with a bit of history, please.
Well, it's not bad. It does have. It was MOT'd in January of this year, and it passed. There were some advisories on it, all to do with rust.
But
they
do that.
They do that. It has had some. It's had some welding already, so it's been the previous MOT, and it wasn't MOT'd in 2021, but it was MOT'd in 2020, and it passed with no advisories.
Right. Okay.
It also passed in 2019 with no advisories.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, in 2018, it failed on things like rear brake hose excessively corroded, headlamp to aim too low, little things like that.
No, that's nothing to
that's
keep you awake
nothing.
at night, is it?
And it was tested twice, once with those failures, and then it was immediately tested again, and it passed with no advisories. So that shows that somebody's been looking after it.
Yeah, I like that.
It looks like it's had a load of. In fact, there is a note on the MOT saying that whilst there is some structural corrosion on it, the structural rigidity is not significantly reduced, and the welding repairs there's actually a note on it saying that the welding repairs have been very well done. So
that's nice.
It looks like, yes, it's had some corrosion, but it has been reasonably well dealt with, and it did pass its last MOT. So it's MOT'd until January. The mileage is not crazy. Looking at the history, it looks like it's had a few issues, but they've always been dealt with.
Yep.
So it's not a bad history.
No, it's not got a dodgy past. No, I can see why that one made the list. And it's not been messed around with. It's black. It's on the original wheels. It has a red interior. It's a 2002, so it's not a facelift one. So it has the correct rear end that we like. The pleasant one.
One thing I have noticed in the photograph of the front of it, the headlights on the R were slightly different to the rest of the S-Type range in that they had a black surround inside them. Whereas on the standard one, they were chrome. Looking at that picture, it's hard to tell. It may just be the light, but the right-hand headlights don't look like they had the black insert.
No, I'm looking now. I see what you mean. It's the photo isn't good enough to put your money on that, is it?
It's not unusual for ours to have standard headlights put in them because they are exactly the same apart from that black interior.
Okay.
But they're the same size. They have the same connector on the back. They are the same lights.
Right.
They just have that slightly different surround. Like you say, you can't quite tell. But generally, that's an S-Type R for less than $5,000. We should say the price is in fact it's less than $4,500.
That's not to be snubbed, that is it?
No, it isn't. I was absolutely delighted when I found that because I didn't think I would be able to include one of those on this list. But
well, there it is.
There it is, and they are coming down in price.
Okay, so that's a strong contender for you then. Yeah,
I've started strong there. In fact, that is my favourite. They've started with my favourite on the whole list.
Okay, that's fine.
But I'm that's a bit of me. That
okay. That's Well, it is.
Yes, it is. That is exactly. It's even the right colour.
Yeah, simple as really. That's
yes.
If you've got the money in your pocket, I would assume you'd be buying that.
I would. I think. Yeah, it's not. It's not tip top, but there aren't many of those around that haven't had a bit of work at this stage.
Yeah, that's
it's a 20-year-old car, isn't it? So, but that one does seem to have. Yes, it's had work done, but it has always been done properly by the look of it because the issues have gone away by the time the next MOT comes around.
It's reassuringly honest.
Yeah, I think that's very good. Yes. Oh, thank you, Quentin. Yes. Stick a private plate on it. No.
The neighbours will know, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they will. Yes, it's true.
Yes. All right, then.
So that's my first contender, and that butters all the parsnips.
Right, so you've gone in with number one, essentially, even though we weren't doing it in a particular order. That is
not in any particular order. That was the first car I looked for.
Right, I'll throw one at you, and mine are definitely in no particular order. There are some here that I would consider utter gems, and some that I think I like my choice, but I don't know why, kind of thing.
That's fair.
It's weird. Yeah. Right, so there we go. No one will be surprised that there's a bit of German involved initially.
Here we go.
And we got an E39 5 Series, a 530i Sport.
Ooh, yeah, I'm with you with that. That's very good indeed.
Mm.
Yeah, that's on the correct wheels.
Yes.
In a very nice colour.
Yeah, it does all the things that.
Yeah, metallic grey, very nice. Yeah.
Yep, someone's done well there. Someone's looked after it. It's
been lowered, I would suggest.
Probably a little bit. It's got it's got some. Oh God, I can't remember the brand of them. It does have lowering springs on it, but I'll forgive that because it appears to have been done quite nicely. And
quite tasteful, that. Yeah.
The equipment used is decent stuff. The history on it is pretty good. Service history is relatively full, and they've self-confessed and said, "Look, I'm all right with cars, and I've done all the mechanics."
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
And it clearly is cared for. The MOT, if it's got a reasonably good history, occasionally there is a list of things that need doing, and then they're fixed. So
yeah, same as the Jag. That's smart.
That's it.
It's smart. 134,000 miles. Yeah.
I'm not going to lose sleep over that.
For 2003.
I just think that's really quite pleasant. I mean, you'd almost go, oh, maybe that's a boring choice, but maybe it is. But it is bloody good.
It is bloody good. Yes, I'm with you on that. Yeah, that's
up
a strong
£4,000.
That yeah, £4,000, well within budget. In fact, you could, you could tax that for within budget as well.
Yeah, tax, insurance, all done.
All within budget. Yeah.
So I could see that being a bit of me.
You'd just about get the family in that.
Yeah, I did. I've been in a fair few E39s. They're not ridiculous in the back. No. I tell you what is interesting when you are shopping for them. There are less E39s in budget than there are the replacement, the E60 and 61s, depending on body shapes.
Interesting. So if you go newer, they're cheaper.
You go newer, they're cheaper and more plentiful. And you just go, I'm just not as a big a fan of those. No.
That is peak 5 Series for me. Yep, well, assuming you're not going all the way back to the shark nose. I hugely approve of that.
I thought you would, and in the same way that I approve of the Jag, we've started strong.
Oh, they'd look good next to each other, wouldn't they?
They would, and I like the fact that someone's cared about this. It looks clean, looks well looked after.
That's someone's pride and joy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's the leather is tip top, the carpets are nice and clean, the paintwork looks like it's cared for. They've gone to the trouble of making sure they photograph each wheel individually to show you.
Yeah, the photographs are better than they were of the Jag, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm perhaps not as thrilled with some of the tyre brands, but...
Yeah, but that can be dealt with, can't it?
I'm not going to worry about that.
Nice little touchscreen infotainment in there. I don't know whether that would have been original.
No, I would say not. That's
from a later one, isn't it? But nevertheless,
I think that's someone's done a bit of a custom job there. I'd say because that's got some interesting apps on it for something that's actually maintained the original surround by the look of it.
Yeah, it looks very original. That's been very nicely done. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at, and I quite fancy that.
Nice. Yeah, I can see why. I hugely approve of that. Yeah.
So, yep, there we go. So we've got two strong starts.
We've got two very strong starts.
They're quite. I mean, they're not dissimilar in terms of. I mean, they're in the same bit of the market at the same time, and
very much so. I mean, they sort of would have been competitors at the time.
I suppose, mind you, you need the M5 to compete directly with your one, but
because it's the V8R,
yeah. I mean,
but you'd be looking at the 3-litre V6 Sport in the S-Type to be a direct competitor.
Yeah,
and I could have chosen any number of those. There are loads of those, the 2.5 or the 3-litre V6 for less than £2,000. I could have listed load. They're everywhere.
Yeah, but they're not V8s, so are they?
Quite. Which is why when I saw I could R within budget, and admittedly it is the only one, but I thought, well, I've got to include the R. But if there wasn't an R in budget, I probably would have gone with a 3-litre V6 Sport, because I had to have an S-Type in the list.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Go on then. Where are we going now in your list of potential dailies? Take me on a journey.
Take you on a journey. Well, where shall we go next? Let's see here. I have a BMW on my list too.
Good.
So and it's another favourite.
I think I know what this might be now.
Yes, I'd be surprised. I wondered if you'd choose one of these. Let's pop you a little link there, and I will bring it up on my list here. Right.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So just a smidgen budget. They're just
only just in budget. I'm not taxing and insuring it within budget, but nevertheless, a 2000 BMW 7 Series of the E38 variant.
Mm-hmm. Again, good colour, good wheels.
Correct colour, correct. Well, if not silver, correct wheels. It's the 2.8. So it's a 728. The bigger engine versions are not available in budget.
No, which is a shame, because
which is a shame.
In the not too distant past, actually.
Yeah, not too long ago. In fact, when we were discussing cars for me last year, there were. I think we maybe even found a 740. Within budget, but those days have gone for the moment, I'm afraid.
Yes.
And a 728 would still be a very respectable choice.
I think so. I mean, for the same reasons I picked that E39. It's the same tremendousness. They were in their prime at this particular moment, I think.
Absolutely. Looking at the MOT history, it has passed with no advisories every time since 2013.
Not to be sniffed at.
And in 2013, it failed because there was... it didn't fail. There was an advisory in 2013 on the rear lower suspension arm, had a little play in it, but that was dealt with by the next MOT. It then had passes with no advisories all the way back to 2010, when it failed because of rear coil spring corrosion.
That's
again,
just
going
consumables,
back,
isn't it?
Passed every time all the way back to 2007, when it failed on the fact that it looked like it had bald tyres on it.
Very good.
And then passed all the way back to when it was new. So an incredibly clean MOT history. As I say, passed every time with no advisories from 2011 up until November last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very, very clean example.
We'll both be having one of those then. But unfortunately, that's the only one for sale. So
unfortunately, we're going to. it is only just within budget, 96,000 miles, which for a 2000 car.
That's ridiculously good,
that
isn't it?
is low.
Yeah.
Dark blue with a cream leather interior. Ooh.
Lovely. And you can pretend to be Pierce Brosnan all day.
And I would.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, and that's perfectly understandable. And
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. There's no arguments from me. I mean, it's only fair that you get first dibs because you found it.
I found that one, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and lovely. It's been debadged as well. I've just noticed.
I like that.
There you go. As well. So I can pretend it's a 750.
Of course you can.
Until I start it, obviously, then people will know. But
I'm sorry, it's 750. That's not how you say it, is it?
Oh, I'm so sorry. 750.
There you go. That's better.
There we go. So couple of Beamers there.
A couple of Beamers. I think that's it for Beamers from me.
That's the only Beamer I've got on my list.
I think actually I'm skimming now, and it's the only German that I have on the list.
It is.
Well, depending on
it is
where.
not the only German I have on my list.
Well, it depends on where certain cars were made because I'm unsure on that. So we'll come back to that. All right, then let's go.
Actually, the other one, the other one I've got is not made in Germany. I know for a fact, so that's fine.
That's all right
then.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's my next one, and you'll probably just agree on this again. I think just gonna for the moment we're just going to agree.
That is the problem with these lists, in that we both kind of pick the same cars.
There's going to be some that you don't agree on.
Yeah, granted. We've got our first crossover.
Oh, right. Okay, so that is on your list, is it?
Actual car. I did wonder if that would happen. Isn't that interesting? And it's interesting it's happened with that.
Okay,
Go on,
right.
I'll let you fill us in.
Okay, so that we've both got exactly the same one. It's the Alfa Romeo 159 Sport Wagon in black for just £100 and a bit under £4,000.
Yep.
Petrol 2.2 manual.
Yeah.
All of the gloriousness.
It's got it all, isn't it? That one.
Yes, it does, and it's got that. I love it. It's got that red leather interior, and it's not just red inserts. It's red.
It's red. Absolutely, is very red. Yes.
It's got from what I looked at, it's got great MOT history. Good. Well, for Italian nonsense like that.
For an Alfa Romeo, it's good. Yeah.
Reasonably
failures.
Yes. They have, but it's been really good. Really well looked after.
It's not terrible, no.
It's got a good service history to accompany its MOT history as well.
It has. Funnily enough, this week, there is one, same as that, on Facebook just up the road from me. But it is a diesel and has much higher mileage and is half the price. So.
I specifically, when hunting for 159s, went fuel type petrol, please.
I did exactly. Estate petrol.
Yeah,
yes, nothing else will do.
I don't want an Alfa with a diesel engine.
I'm not with one of those. The only way I'm interested is if it's a really specific spec. If it's anything else, like you say, diesel, not the estate, horrible color, forget it. Not interested. Yeah, it's got to be a very specific spec.
That's it. I would have accepted. I like the fact that it's got the red leather. That was a real bonus.
Yeah,
but I would have accepted. I would have accepted a red car with a black interior, or I would have accepted, because this is in black, I would have accepted a black car with the red or the tan.
Yeah, I would have accepted the dark tan.
Yeah, I don't want the black interior in the black car. That's too much.
No.
But yeah, there we go. So we've both ended up with that one then.
There's going to be a punch-up over that one then,
there is. We don't know who found that first either. So that's going down to a coin toss, because that is really competitively priced.
It is.
I'm surprised that hasn't gone.
I am. That's been a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones to hit my list. That
well, you probably found it first then.
Okay.
I will be honest on that front, and you probably found that first. I've toyed with an Alfa Romeo a few times, and I've always sort of thought, oh no, it's just going to be a disaster. But then, you're speaking to the man who bought an X-Type.
It's just a disaster from a different country.
Thinking that was a better choice. So I don't know. That is, I'm kind of pleased there's at least one that we've crossed over, and that it's that one.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's scope for more crossover. We'll find out.
There is. That marks us out, I believe, as proper petrol heads.
Apparently so.
Both chosen that.
Yeah, but and really honed in on that, because there were a reasonable amount about.
Yeah, and there's some for less money than that, quite a bit less money than that. Particularly if you're willing to go diesel. As I say, there's one literally just at the top of the road from me, but
no one wants that.
No, it's got the tiny diesel engine, broken door handles, a torn up interior. It's not been massively well looked after, I don't think. But
that's a no on all fronts there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, the diesel engine was enough I'm not having one of those with a diesel engine. I'm not interested. No, not interested at all.
No, that's fair.
But the 2.2 litre petrol. Whoa.
Yeah, that's a different. That's a different situation. Yeah, go on then. Right, give us what we got next, please.
Right.
Just see if it's on my list.
Right, I got to cross that one off my list because that was going to be next.
Oh, good.
There are quite a lot, I have to say, of estate cars on my list. In fact, apart from the S-Type, they are all. And the Beamer, they are all estate cars.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna keep you guessing. I'm not gonna tell you what body types mine are.
No, very good, very good. Right, what shall I choose next? I tell you what, let's get this one out of the way because I haven't been able to do any checks on this because it's the only one I could find in budget, and the dealer has covered up the number plates in the picture.
That was nice.
Which, as we know, is a stupid thing to do.
Yes, you're trying to sell it. Don't make it hard for yourself.
Don't make it difficult for people to research it.
Oh, hang on. There it is. The old Chrome was not up for it there.
Yes. Now, there's much to talk about here. This is a 2002 Subaru Legacy Outback Sport Tourer, to use the full name.
Yeah.
Brackets Lux Pack.
Okay, this is a lot to take in there. You see,
it's a lot to take in.
I am staggered we have ended up in the world of Japan for you.
Well, there you go. See, maybe it's rubbing off.
Maybe it is because I looked at Legacies and I couldn't find one that ticked all my boxes.
Well, your boxes are probably more specific on this than mine because you'll know about them. But this one certainly seemed to be well spec'd. It was petrol. It was 4-wheel drive. It had heated seats and panoramic roof. And I mean, I'm not sure about the gold wheels. I might have to deal with that.
Yeah, the wheels are a little bit.
They might have to go back to silver, but
on the face of it, I mean, yeah, you got the big engine. You got creature comforts. It looks in good condition, and like you say, we don't really know more than that.
Can't do checks on it because I can't see the number plate in any of the pictures. It is it's in the blue.
The blue, yeah.
As it is officially known, I believe, and someone's done the gold wheels, which don't really belong on it, and I'm not sure I could live with that.
No, they could be dealt with, though.
Those might have to go back to silver. Yes. Well, $2,500. That's a lot of car for $2,500.
That's a proper bit of car for not a huge amount of money.
Would do everything forever.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I thought you'd approve of that.
Yeah, I could see you in that. I mean, like I said, I'm a bit fussy about spec, but for you, that's perfect.
I think it is. I even like the colour of the interior. It's a sort of biscuity colour.
That's it. And plus, with those as well, they got the two-tone on the dash, so the top of the dash is a bit darker, which is actually quite practical for driving, I think.
Yes, actually, the S-Type has that too. And the particular one I picked out didn't, I think, because that had the red insert seats, but some of them did.
Okay, right, okay.
And nevertheless, I just thought it doesn't speak to me like the Jag does. It doesn't speak to me like the Beamer does. But if it's half our budget, and it will do everything.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's quite. It's all things to all men, that, isn't it? It's classless. It's comfortable. There's a decent bit of performance in there too.
Yeah, we've been the 3 litre.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
as I say, the only thing is I can't do any checks on it because I covered up the number plates, and those wheels would have to be dealt with.
That's fine. But yeah, you are correct. That is a good choice. Going on the assumption that it's not got the dodgiest history known to man.
Yeah, assuming all is well when you can about it. But as I said, I don't know why dealers do that because it would put me off, especially buying. If it was just down the road, all right, fair enough.
You tolerate it.
I tolerate it, but when I don't even know where this one is, but I bet it isn't local.
No, I assume not.
It's not local phone number, no. But when you're buying remotely, you've either got to make a journey or you've got to pay to have it delivered.
Yeah.
Which on a car of $2,500 is kind of borderline as to which of those is worth it if it's a bit of a distance. I want a number plate to do some history on.
Yeah,
and
that's...
when you're browsing, to me, I would just move on to the next one. I just wouldn't. I'm sure that will cost them sales by doing
it's
that.
not even... Yeah, I mean, the majority of us go... I mean, you could message them, but I just can't be asked.
No, you just move on, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you've been difficult up front there. You go, yep, you know what? Off you pop.
Yeah, I'll find another one. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
guarantee that will cost any dealer doing that. It'll cost you sales. Or even if it's your own car and you're selling privately, don't cover up the number plates. It will cost you buyers.
Yeah.
It's a stupid thing to do.
Yes.
So there we are. Subaru Legacy Outback.
Num num num.
Yes.
That's a good choice. Right, okay. I'm gonna throw one at you now, and this is gonna be, it's bordering on obvious.
Okay.
So I just thought I might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah. Let's go.
Here we go.
What do we got here? I looked at that one.
You looked at it, right? Okay.
Now this is also. I have one on my list, but not that one.
So we've got a Ford Mondeo ST220. It's a saloon or hatchback. Sorry.
I found an estate.
Oh well, la di da. But this one's a weird one. Because they're making statements of sort of saying, right, we're gonna be selling this with a full MOT. But I looked at the MOT and it's valid until August of this year.
Okay, so not very long.
Not very long. So I'm assuming, we'll put a fresh ticket on it.
Yeah.
However, it failed in June.
Right.
So it got tested really early.
That tells me they've tested it when they took it in.
Yeah.
It failed, and they're trying to get shot of it before they have to sort it out.
No, because they're actively saying we will sell it with a new MOT. They're just
okay.
They're not paying for it until they know that there's a done deal. I think that's what they're doing.
Fair enough. Oh well, maybe that suggests there's nothing too major wrong.
It does need a bit of welding.
Okay. Well, again, yeah.
However, up until that point, the MOT history was quite clean.
Okay.
But it is a Mondeo, and rust will be a thing.
It's on the original wheels, and it is in the correct colour.
It's the thing I liked about this. Well, there are a few about. There's not loads by any stretch.
Well, they never have. They didn't make loads.
No, but this one is unmolested. It's got all its original bits.
That is quite rare.
That's the bit that appealed to me. I looked past the rust thing, thinking, well, okay, they're making bold claims that they're going to flog it with a full ticket and go, well, you have to fix the rust. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
So that's why it made it to the list.
That's, I mean, as I don't need to say, I approve of that. Yes, that's lovely. That's lovely. The toss-up between the hatch and the estate on that is a difficult argument because they're both really practical.
It's both got a good boot, and I just think it's probably timing of when we both looked, really, wasn't it?
Probably, although I did see that one, but I was looking for an estate. And I guess since we're on it,
might as well
cover mine now. Again, I'm not surprised we've both got an ST220 on the list. Let me furnish you with a link. Now, mine is bang on budget, so I have only just found it, and this was the only estate. This is it's a 2004 Ford Mondeo ST220 estate in silver with a black interior. So the spec is perhaps not quite as interesting as yours. It's not on its original wheels, although they're not unpleasant wheels.
No, I'll grant you that. It's got some things that you probably want to take off or poke, but otherwise fine. So, what about state of affairs?
Yeah, MOT history is not bad. It has it passed an MOT in what?
I got stuck. I was glossing over the description.
Oh well, we're not here to debate the quality of the writing on these adverts.
No. Can I just go for a sentence that I spotted?
Please do.
Surely an appreciating rare, desirable sporty Ford. In brackets, Quentin Wilson tipped these to appreciating value.
Yes, so Quentin Wilson spelt wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, I just saw that out of a corner of my eye. I went, that's honestly, that's
you got to mention little Quentin in your advert. It'll help. It passed its MOT in November with no advisories. It failed the previous one because it needed new coil springs and a windscreen wiper. Previous one it passed. One before that it passed. Pretty decent MOT history. So no particular concerns there. 74,000 miles, which is looking at the wrong advert there. 90,000 miles, which is nothing.
Still nothing worth getting excited about, is it? It's nothing at all.
It's a year older or 18 months that you picked, but it is I was determined to find an estate.
That's fine. It's one that you could buy, and with a little bit of just fiddling, all good.
Yeah, you'd get that back. That's not been horrendously messed about with.
No. No.
And I think, it could possibly... They're not bad wheels, but they're not original to it. So...
No, excellent choice. May I continue the Ford theme?
Oh, please do.
My next one is exceedingly in budget.
Oh, right.
And this is one that Phil's had, and he was not so keen, but I really liked.
Not this actual one.
Not this actual one. I would have this in a heartbeat, and it comes with the Stuff and Waffle approval.
Ah, very good.
So we've got a 2004 Ford Focus ST170.
Oh, you do. I looked at that advert as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that advert as well, but I didn't go for it. But yes,
I'd have it in a heartbeat because when I bought the Volvo, I was looking at ST170s as well at the time.
Yeah.
So I almost consider it the one that got away.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's Focus, so you can't go wrong to begin with. But once you make it the ST170, what's gone and what's the history like on this?
History
looks really tidy.
It is quite tidy. There are a couple advisories on the MOT at present.
Okay.
It's got a reasonable length of MOT, but it's got a bit of stuff that's not really that much of an issue to sort. There's a couple of I even looked up which fuel pipes they're on about, and they're like little short runs that you could replace.
Okay.
And as well, they need some new discs.
Oh well, that's fine.
So I don't mind that. The service history is really good, and these people selling it, because it's a dealer one for a fiver shy of £3,000. They're flogging it with, it comes with a short warranty, but they're saying for not a lot extra, as in a couple of £100, they'll give you 12 months on it.
Nice. The interior is spotless. There isn't even any wear on the seat bolsters.
No.
It's got its original radio, which is unusual on those. Normally they've been ripped out and something for the banging tunes put in.
Quite, yes.
That looks absolutely... I mean, the interior looks brand new.
It's in a good state of repair, that, isn't it?
The only problem I have...
Is the red badge?
The red Ford badges and the incorrect later ST badge on the grille. That is not original.
No, but that could be prized off along with the red badges. So I didn't let that bother me too much.
The ST badge on the boot is correct.
Yeah, that's fine.
The one on the grille is not.
No, that's...
And the red Ford badges need replacing with the original blue ones. I'm glad you picked up on that as well.
Yeah, we can have those sorted, don't you worry.
We can definger that, can't we? Yes.
But yeah,
apart from that, correct wheels.
Yeah,
I massively approve of that as well.
Yeah, so
have either of us picked anything so far that the other one would also be really happy with?
I don't know. I tell you what, I've got 3 more on my list, and I am. These are the 3 that I think you're going to go. I don't know whether I'd have that.
Yeah, I think the same is true for me, actually.
Okay, then go on then. Show me something a little more avant-garde, then, shall we say?
Oh, I'll show you something. You want avant-garde?
Yes, please.
Hold on to your pants, because
will do.
Here we go. I think this one's going to surprise you. But I really like these.
Oh,
but we've never talked about it before.
Oh, are you going to show me a French car?
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
No. It couldn't be further from that if you tried.
Right. Okay.
There we go.
Show me what you got.
Okay. So,
oh my God,
we have here. I was hoping that's the noise he would make. We have here a 2008, so quite a bit newer than the cars we have been looking at to this point.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I know. A 2008 Chrysler 300C wagon.
Oh, you are such a closet American.
Yes, I know.
Oh my goodness me!
You're not the first to say that.
I don't want that one.
Do you not?
No.
I'm not at all surprised. It's one of those cars that's so awful. I really like it, especially the estate, because it's so weird looking.
It is weird. They don't. I mean, wagons are not their speciality.
No.
I mean, fortunately, this one looks. I mean, it's fine.
It's fine. Yes.
I tell you what's actually no. I tell a lie. As soon as I enlarged the photo, I went, they've put the Bentley badge on it.
Have they? I didn't notice that.
For crying out loud.
Well, that's like the red Ford badges on your Focus, isn't it? That can be dealt with.
Yes, fire.
Yes. You are not setting fire to my Chrysler. I must admit, I hadn't noticed that they'd done that.
The rear badge is correct. The front badge is not.
That can be dealt with.
However, I mean, I've started skipping. I've not just dismissed it out of hand. It's actually in really quite nice condition.
Well, it is. I'm just looking at the MOT history. Passed its MOT in April this year with no advisories.
Okay. That's good. Then we'll take the positives. I mean, the plastic in that interior is atrocious.
Yeah, I'm used to that though because I had a Model S.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, the bits in this may even come off in your hand too. So that's fine.
I'm used to American interior. No, come on, nothing ever fell off.
No, it's just true. There wasn't
not the
really
highest
anything,
quality materials.
Nothing very physical to operate in there, which was a saving grace, wasn't it?
Well,
really?
Quite. The minimalist approach means there's nothing to come off in your hand. No,
yes,
absolutely.
No, it's all right.
But this, pretty clean MOT. It's had failures and it's passed and it's failed on lots of things, but they've all been stupid little things.
Right. Okay.
Like windscreen wipers and the seat belts aren't recoiling properly and anti-lock brake warning light keeps coming on even though they can't find a fault and stuff like that. Stupid little things that. But as I say, to be fair to whoever's owned it, those things have gone by the next MOT.
Fair enough.
And it passed one in. So it's got, it passed in April with no advisory. So it's got a long MOT on it.
Good.
And it's petrol and it's just big and American and ridiculous. And I just like it.
Okay.
I knew you wouldn't be for that.
That's fine. All right then. Well, like I said, I'm worried about my choices from now on. So you can have that if you want. That's fine. That's your money.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, 2,995 monies. So
that's actually quite good money, is really.
It's well within, but yes, exactly. You're not. If it's awful, you're not actually. You're not spending a colossal amount on it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Right, here we go. I'm going to throw one at you. It's fine for you. There we go. I was summarising there.
I shall make amends with a future choice. Don't you?
Don't you? But it's fine. This is your money and your car. You don't need my seal of approval, even though it would help.
I thought I was told once before that I absolutely have to.
No, this is true. You can't make a purchase without me. All right, this is one that I don't think you'll have such a violent reaction to, but I don't know whether you'll care.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we go. Let's have a look. What do we got? Okay.
We have a 2001 Honda Accord Type R.
You do, don't you?
Which I was shocked to get one because they're quite rare.
Yeah.
And tend to be quite strong money. However, this one is a Cat S.
That explains the price.
But it was cosmetic issues. It had a prang. And
Cat S is structural, though, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what these are numbers are, but I did.
Cat S is structural.
No, is it?
Cat N is non-structural.
That was it. But it's fine. I looked up the history and I have checked what happened, why, and what the repairs are, and it's all been done nicely and checked thoroughly.
Okay.
So I'm willing to accept that. The repair was excellent. The MOT history is squeaky clean. The mileage is low.
Good. Yeah.
And it's I just think that's a bit of something. It's taken a boring car and made it really quite interesting.
I could see you in that. Yeah, I really could. Those are actually really solid cars. You still see quite a few of those around. I mean, not the R, but you do still see those around.
And you just think it's been looked after.
Yeah.
And it's got because it looks it does look a little boring on the outside. There you got you got the wing at the back. You got the red Honda badge. You know it's something special. Then you get in the interior and you go, whoo! It's
It's it's a sea of black plastic.
It's a sea of black plastic, but then you've got some buckets in there as well.
Yeah, true. It's not the most interesting dashboard, is it?
It's a weird interior because they've just taken a plain boring car and went, right, this has got the big engine, we've put some bucket seats in it, and you're going to throw this around and it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, got some white dials in the binnacle there, and but you've got the sales rep's dashboard.
But I did that weird spec appeals. I like that.
That plastic is only going to become grayer and shinier with every year that passes.
I'll accept
it will, and there's going to be a lot of years because that will break.
No, that will just continue. That will be that high revving 2.2 gloriousness.
I'll tell you what that is. That's a sleeper.
Because
most people will glance at that and think, oh, it's just an old Honda.
Either that or some idiots put a wing on that Honda, don't they? Look daft.
Yes. Yes, that is a problem. Yes.
But I'd accept that because, well, I know what it is and I like it.
That's actually, and I hate to use this phrase in conjunction with your good self, but that's actually quite a clever choice.
Oh dear, there's credit being awarded.
Only a little bit, but
only a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I was worried. I didn't know which way you were going to go on that.
No, well, I can't really knock that. I mean,
I don't think
in some ways it's a bit boring, but I do kind of approve of that. It's there's a lot to like there. I don't think I would. It's not something that would draw me in.
Mm.
But I can see the appeal.
Okay. Well, I'd let you have a drive.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, I was just staggered the fact that it's just so pristine, and yes, it's annoying that it's had the prang, but it's
That's what makes it affordable, though. If it hadn't, it wouldn't appear in this list. I don't think it wouldn't be within budget.
No, and I think the longer you kept it, the less it would impact on it.
Cars that have had a write-off in their past are not necessarily cars to steer away from.
No, that's it. You
not at all.
just have to pay more attention.
As long as you don't look through the history and find some shots of a crumpled crisp packet, then you might want to think again.
Move on to the next one, yeah.
But those, that would have come up as okay, well, this one's a Cat S, you said.
Yeah.
Which is structural, but, insurance companies these days, particularly if it's something a bit more unusual, they'll just write it off.
Yeah, they won't even factor in that it's Type R. They'll look at that, go 2001 Honda. No, you're right.
It's worth 300 quid. Throw it away. Yeah, they won't care that it's a special one. No, they won't accept that as an argument, even if you say to them, "Well, it's the Type R. It's really rare." It's not. It's a 2001 Honda. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. They don't care.
No.
Right. Where are you taking me next?
Right. Let's see what we got.
Because we speared off at that point, didn't we? We went from Mondeo to Yeehaw.
So we did. We did it. Right. What shall I do next? I am going to do another one that you're not going to like.
Okay, good. Right.
And it's one that you couldn't choose.
Seats.
Yes. Well, you might get away with it, but I think it would be a squeeze.
Go on then.
Yeah, you're absolutely not going to like this, but I do and I don't care. So, again, we have a newer car than
get it out.
Budget. There we go. You see, I told you, folks. I said that would be his reaction. We have, for our dear listener, a 2007 Mini Clubman Cooper S.
I'm going to come back with the thing of saying, why not just get the Cooper?
Yeah, that's a fair argument.
Have you lent on this one purely because there's a slight increase in practicality?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
But with the same engine.
Same engine, a little bit more practical. I have always quite liked how the Clubman looks.
Okay.
I've always liked that back end. I did when they first brought it out. I thought it was quite good. This particular one, as I say, 2007 car. It's only done just under 68,000 miles, so incredibly low mileage.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Yeah,
it has clearly been looked after.
That's it. I mean, I'm looking at it and going, right, well, I don't want it myself. But
no,
if you're going to have one,
yeah,
that one looks like a really good one to have.
It has just been MOT'd and it passed with no advisories. It failed the one before because it needed new brake discs. Those were obviously done. The rest of its MOT history is pretty much immaculate.
Okay.
It's been really looked after. It's low mileage. Yeah, I just like it.
And I still think you hanker after a Mini.
I do. I always have since I got rid of mine. I've always thought I might have another one at some point. And the Clubman, yeah, I do quite like it. I think it's a bit different.
Yeah, I suppose, and it's before they went too ridiculous with Mini models, because at the time it was still, you could have the Cooper S, Clubman in its various engines and whatever, but it was basically a Mini or a Mini Clubman. And
this was the last
selection of engines, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was the last model where I think it still looked like a Mini.
What was that? Is this R56?
So the one that came after the one I had. So sort of two editions in front of the one that you've got.
Yeah, because we got the 50. Yeah, you had the 53, didn't you?
I had the 53, and this is the 56. Yeah. That's right. Mine was a 2004. This is a 2006. Well,
okay.
2006 model. It's a 57 plate car, but this one, I believe the Cooper S in the edition that you've got and that I had was supercharged. I believe this one is turbocharged. I believe they changed it.
Oh, okay. So the S does not stand for super.
And not in this variant.
Turbo.
It doesn't, no. In the earlier ones it did. But I think, might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did away with the supercharger and made it turbocharged. But nevertheless. This one is low mileage. It's been looked after. It's really tidy. I just like it.
Okay, that's fine. This is your list and your money.
And of course, only having one small person, that still works as a family car.
Yes, it does, because obviously that... Well, actually, the Clubman does have 3 seats in the back.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Which is what... I mean, I'm basing it off our Mini, because obviously that being an early Cooper has 2 seats in the back. That's it.
And mine was the same. I think the seats were probably the same in mine to yours.
I would have thought so. I think they changed the seats for the Clubman and the Clubman only.
Yes, they did, and it had 3 abreast, and of course it does have the single rear door. On the side behind the driver's door, which is of course on the wrong side for the UK. But anyway, dwell on that.
Yeah, let's not worry about that.
Let's not worry about that. That is in the correct colour combo. Not sure about the chrome air scoop. That might have to go.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a bit.
That wouldn't have been original.
No, that's a bit too much. Now,
I think it's too much. Need a body coloured one of those. But other than that, for 4,995, I think that's
you
pretty
sorted.
Good.
All right then. Well, I'll tell you what. You've thrown one at me that I won't like, and
I've thrown 2 at you actually, but I really knew you like the Chrysler.
I'm pretty sure you won't like this one, and I am really pushing it for being within the bounds of sensible on this one.
Okay.
Because a squeeze it would be.
Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. Took a second to pop in there. Oh my word. Yeah, you're stretching to the limit there, aren't you?
Really am.
You're saying you're going to get 2 adults and 3 kids in a Toyota Yaris.
Yeah.
That's a shopping car.
It's a bloody good shopping car, that one.
Well,
that's just for the listener, that's the 1.5 T-Sport Yaris Mark 1. So not only is it in general a bomb-proof car because it's a Mark 1 Yaris and all they do is carry on, this one's the sporty one. So you can just throw this thing around. So this is, like I said, this is really stretching it.
It really is. I don't think you can claim that's a family car.
There's 3 seats in the back. There are 3 seat belts to wrap around the children.
Okay.
And there's a boot for
not very much
small
stuff.
Amount of things. It's easier if you put your stuff in there. I mean, if you're going on holiday, just put the clothes directly in the car. Quicker.
I think so. Yeah. That's You take up. I'm not sure that entirely meets the brief.
That does. It does. I could accommodate everyone and travel somewhere, and I'd also be having fun.
Well, yes, I suppose. I'm not sure. I imagine 5 people is going to blunt the performance. It's only a 1.5.
Okay, well, let me come at it from a different angle. The amount of times during the year that I have a car with all 5 of us in can be counted on one hand.
Yeah, granted. Yeah, you don't go out as a family very often, do you? No.
No, and if we do, we're going to achieve something, and we all fit in, and it would be fine. it would be absolutely fine. And I've got a thing for these. I've always liked these T-Sports. Always.
Yeah. I'm not going to criticise a hot hatch.
And I just think it's one that people don't get excited about, but they should. It's clean. It's got full service history. It's got good MOT history. It's got one owner from new.
Little old lady carefully abused.
Yeah, but if a little old lady's bought the T-Sport, that's well done her.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I was. Yeah,
it does look tidy. It really does. Yeah.
I think that would be money well spent, but I don't think that's for you.
It's not in any way.
No, you're never going to be driving a Yaris, but I will accept it.
Afraid no.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to. But yeah, go on then. What have you got for me?
Well, there's a couple here, and I'm going to throw this at you.
Go on then.
This would be very interesting. Okay.
Here it is. Right, what we got?
We have got, and the reason for the noise he just made will become apparent. We have here a 2004 Volvo V70 T5.
Yes, we do. We've got well, the petrol equivalent of mine, really.
It's effectively the petrol, slightly more powerful version of yours. Yeah.
It's in really good nick, isn't it?
It's in really good nick. 3995, so I'm well within budget. 135,000 miles for a 2004 car is fine.
Absolutely fine.
It's in a lovely colour. We have a headlamp wiper moment there, a little nod to Hubnut. And a very tidy interior. Not too much wear on the seats, which can be a problem in those. Quite a decent spec. It's got everything you'd want, really. It's in a lovely dark metallic red.
Yeah, I do. I'm not going to knock a Volvo.
Well, clearly you're not going to knock a Volvo V70.
No, not at all. So, no, a V70 T5 rather than D5. That's probably a smart move at the moment.
The petrol, I was looking for a petrol. It was a toss-up, I'll be honest, between that and a 2009 V50 R Sport.
Right, okay.
Now, the later car was a diesel. It was about the same price, but it was the 2-litre diesel. So it's the one, the really wheezy engine.
Yeah, I get part of it was to say French origins on that.
Yes, it was the R design, so it had the body kit and the wheels, and it looked the part, but it had the little diesel engine. So I ruled that one out. And thought, no, let's go for the T5 petrol instead.
That's fine. They've done a couple of close-ups of interior, and there are bits that need a clean.
There's bits that need a clean, but that's fine. You're not going to buy a car at this price point and expect it to be mint, are you?
No, you've got the usual thing with the sat-nav screen going, I can't read the disc, and let's just take it out and put it in again.
Yeah, but what's a sat-nav in a car of that age is going to be no use anyway.
It's not, but I think there are people out there doing upgrade discs for it, so you can have something actually quite current if you did want to use it.
A lot of older cars like that, actually, now you can get infotainment upgrades for them, like the Jag Droid system that's available for XJ, X-Type, and S-Type, things like that. So, but I'm not, you're buying a car at that age, I'm not bothered about a dated infotainment. I mean, who isn't going to use a sat-nav based on their smartphone these days anyway?
Well, it's true. The only thing I'd say on this one, I would hazard a guess to say that this has been on sale for a while and has been sat.
Okay. Possibly, yeah.
The only reason, I know it's jumping to conclusions, however, there is no time set on the dash, meaning the battery's been dead.
Oh, okay. Right.
So this one's been a slow burner.
It was MOT'd in January of this year, but it didn't have an MOT last year. So that perhaps suggests it's been off the road for a little while. It could be that, it was MOT'd in January. It could be that it was left sat and they've just not put the clock back right, as you say. But MOT history it's had a few failures, but small things like rear number plate lamp not working and, the headlights. Headlights not aligned and things like that. It's little. The MOT it passed in January, it had no advisories. And the previous one in 2020, the only advisory was a worn rear brake disc.
You can cope with that. So I'm probably just being a bit too judgmental. That's all.
Well, maybe, but again, it's a $4,000 car. It's the petrol, as you pointed out. It's T5. It looks like a pretty good spec. I could really be with that.
Yeah, that's a bit of you. I think that's a solid choice, that one.
Yeah, I could be all over that. As I say, my head was slightly turned by the newer R design car, but it had the wheezy 2-litre engine. So
yeah,
this one won, even though it was older.
That's fair. Yeah.
I knew you wouldn't object to a V70.
No, I don't at all. No, I like that enormously. You've done well there. I think that's a good find with a bit of wiggle room on price there as well.
Well, exactly. Yeah, indeed. I think you'd be pretty safe with that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm coming up with my final vehicle now.
As am I. So where are we?
This is proper fun.
Okay.
Proper fun. This. So. I don't know if you'll like it or not, but I don't care.
No. Here we go then. Interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got
a
2007 Renault Megane Renault Sport Cup.
Well, that is the only one you'd want.
But this one is, this proper.
Wow, that's tidy. That's really tidy.
Because Renault Sport Cups were really quite rare edition. Renault Sport ones, but Cup edition.
Yeah, that is rare. That's proper rare.
And that is $4,500.
It is
77,000 miles.
Wow.
Obviously, at the time, they were doing Clios and such like as well. But back to the issue of the amount of seats in the back.
Yes, true. Again, it's going to be snug in.
But, I mean, it's considerably more spacious than the Yaris.
Yeah, it is. It's true. But that looks really tidy. That's been looked at. Okay, what's the history like?
The history, where's my notes? It's pretty clean. Things have arisen on the MOT history and they've been dealt with.
That's the thing, isn't it? You're not afraid of seeing some failures or advisories. The next test, has it been dealt with? Yeah. It's when you look at a car and they've got the same problem coming up every year, you know that nobody's caring for it.
That's it, yeah. So it shows that it's had use. It shows that things have occurred. It shows that it's been fixed. None of it's been catastrophic by any stretch. It's got a good service history to go along with it. Cam belts recently been done on it as well. So it's got everything going for it because I think it's big enough to call that actually practical. Because Megane Megane's your sort of Focus equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mid-size hatch. Yeah, absolutely. No, you can argue that better than you could with the Yaris.
Yeah, you could. This is more of a rival to the ST170, but I think this beats it hands down on performance. This would beat
the ST170. Does. Yeah, it's newer as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it probably would beat it on performance. Yeah, that'd be a tough call, actually, wouldn't it, as to which one of those you'd have. But yeah, that one looks. That you found a good one there, I think.
That's a bit of me, that is.
Yeah, I could see you in that. No, I can see, again, it wouldn't interest me, but I absolutely see why it would interest you.
I bet Dawn would like that.
Yes, she would. She'd absolutely love that. That's absolutely a bit of her. Yes, she loves a bit of sporty French. Yes, not like that. It's yes, having had a Clio Sport herself. Yeah, she'd be all over that. She'd be wanting to lend her that.
Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, that's my final choice. And may I be so bold as to say, after all my searching around, if I was parting with £5,000 now, or less, as the case may be, I would be buying that.
Okay, so of all the cars you've looked at, that
was the last one that I came to when I was just really filtering searches in Auto Trader. I went, oh my goodness me, yes, that is exactly the brief. That is all things to all men.
Yeah, it really is. Actually, I have to give you that. Of everything you've chosen, yeah, I can see that. See that. Yeah, you've done well with that one. That, as you say, that's quite a rare find, I suspect. You'd struggle to find another one.
You would. They're all. I mean, it's that Cup edition that makes it the tricky one, because they're. I mean, they aren't plentiful when it comes to Renault Sport, but there's enough to be browsing. But that one, that's the one.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair choice.
So, right, we've got one more on your list. I'm very interested.
My final choice is nothing like that.
Okay.
I don't know whether you're going to go on this. I really don't know where you're going to go on this.
Okay, go on then.
Let me fire you a link.
Ooh.
So
this okay. This is interesting because you okay. Yeah, tell everyone what you got.
It's a 2006 MG ZTT 160, so the 1.8 petrol. The ZTT being effectively the sporty version of the Rover 75 Tourer, but with different front, different back, different seats, different engine tuning, all that kind of stuff.
It's also got the turbo on the engine, because this is the turbocharged kettle.
Yes, exactly. And it's there were more powerful versions of the MG ZT, but not in the state form.
Right. Okay.
And not within budget.
That's quite crucial, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. I did actually find, and they are incredibly rare, they never come up. I did find an MG ZT 260, which is the one with the Mustang engine.
I'd forgotten about.
Would you like to hazard a guess at the price point of that one?
I'm curious. I'm gonna say double our budget.
Yeah, a bit more than that. I think it was about 12.
Really? Oh my goodness me, that's gone up.
But they are incredibly rare, the V8 ones. Mustang V8. So this isn't that.
I mean, I know we joke about the engines and we call them the kettles, but the 1.8s are the most prone to go.
Yeah.
In head gasket territory, but if well maintained, it can be avoided. So, what have you got history-wise?
It was MOT'd in May of this year with no advisories. It has been MOT'd every year since. It hasn't had a failure since 2018, and it was all things like anti-roll bar linkage, corrosion, coil springs, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah,
nothing. It needed a new indicator bulb, but it was little things. And before that, all the way back to 2013, it's had MOTs every year with no advisories.
Okay, and someone's bothered to look after it, because you're looking here that at 70,000 miles, they changed. It had new timing belt, water pump, radiator.
Yep, it's been looked after. It's silver with a black interior, so it's tasteful. It's on its original alloys, so it's not been twiddled about with.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an honest old car, that one.
Yeah, that's I like that.
There's something about those. It's similar to the S-Type R. It's charming. There's something about them.
Yeah, that's good. I like there's a manual too.
Yes, indeed. And it's had a little infotainment tweak. Again, it's got a touch screen in it, but it's been really well done. And you'd have to, at a glance, you wouldn't know that wasn't original.
Mind you, what was fitted originally was probably hanging out. So,
I would have thought it would have. It wouldn't have been working.
No, that's it. So, no, that's fine. I really quite approve of that choice.
Okay, I wasn't sure whether you'd say that's just a pile of toss, you idiot.
No, I don't mind that at all. It's one of those ones where you'd have to be just fastidious with it, otherwise it's just going to blow up in your face.
You would have to be careful with it, but it obviously has been carefully looked after to this point, and it is, 74,000 miles for a 2006 car. I mean, it's done nothing.
Yeah, that'll do nicely.
It hasn't had a chance to, smoke-free and pet-free.
Good.
So,
Good. That's just what I want for most things. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
I just really like that. I think it's just something about it.
What you've done there is I'm just looking now to. So you've listed for me 9 cars, I think there, or is it 8?
Yes.
I can't count. So
9. It
9.
Was, yes.
And you started with a Jag X Type, and then you listed essentially, if you were going out now to buy a car, you started with an S Type, and then you listed 8 irrelevant cars.
Because we all know what would happen.
Yes.
I tell you what would happen. I would be going out intending to buy that V70, and then I'd veer off at the last minute and buy the S-Type.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
That's what would happen there.
Yeah,
I'd be all sensible sitting at home here saying, no, the V70 is clearly the way to go. And then I'd go out saying, right, I'll be home with a Volvo in a little while.
Yeah, that would be the conversation. I'm just going to go and pick up the Volvo.
Yeah, that's right. And then
be back in a few hours.
And I'd veer off, and I'd get the S-Type.
And then you arrive home in that. Then there'd be the inevitable argument. The name calling would begin.
It would. We know how these things go.
Yeah.
But we also know that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, especially in this instance. My goodness me! So we have gone poles apart there for vehicles to end up at
some places, and in a couple of places we've been bob on the same. Well, in one case, the actual same car,
the actual same listing, but the ones where we had to put the money where the mouth is, really quite different.
Quite different there. So you'd have the Megane.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have the old Jag V8, which is, as we know, is where we always end up with these lists. I always end up with an old Jag.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, if I hadn't stumbled across that Megane, I would have gone full stuff and waffle and had the ST170.
You'd have gone with the Mark 1 Focus, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Which, as you say, is kind of the same thing but different.
Yeah, it's the extra performance that gets me on the Megane. And it being slightly rarer as well. I quite like that.
I would like to say it's not as leery as Ford either. It wears its performance. It keeps its light under a bushel, if that's a phrase.
I think that's the thing. But also what I quite like about it is the people that know would go, oh, very good.
The people who know would know. The people who didn't say, well, it's just a French hatchback.
Yeah, just
with the ST. There's no doubt as to what it is.
Mm.
It looks like the Larry one, whereas the Megane is a lot more subtle.
It's not as in your face. I mean, granted, if you poke your head through the window, you go, "Oh, those seats are lively," that sort of thing. But
once you start looking into the corner, yes, you'd figure it out. But to the average person, you wouldn't know that was particularly. Or you might say, "Well, he's put some nice wheels on," but yeah.
So we've ended in poles apart, but both arrived at cars that are bloody tremendous.
Bloody tremendous. We both want to go in each other's vehicles. We've both, interestingly, I think they're prioritised, with the ones we've ended up with, we've prioritised performance over practicality.
We have, but we've not sacrificed it completely.
No, not at all.
But I just, the more I look at that, I just wish I could dip my hand in my pocket and buy that.
Yeah, so do I, but not quite at the moment, I'm afraid.
No, and even if I sold, any of the cars, I'm just not going to raise that sort of funds. But like I said, we mentioned in the last episode ago, the Minis are actually really enjoyable at the moment. So I tell you what, I should be grateful for that. That's kicking about.
Oh,
so.
You mustn't forget that actually both access to cracking little cars at the moment.
Yeah.
And although, I don't have a car at all, and you have one that doesn't work properly.
It's fine.
We must be grateful for what we do have access to, and we will compare them in detail in not too long a time.
Indeed, we will.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.